What if you could escape reality and go for a ride in a unique world? A world where reality can be played with and where the laws of physics can be engineered. In this world, you are free to use your imagination to create innovative tools. Tools that can help others step to new heights and make a giant leap forward while learning to connect with others and collaborate in teams. You can explore everything that makes you curious and discover what makes us who we are. Go further into the infinitely small, or towards the vastness of the infinitely big. You can take on human challenges here on Earth and design solutions for a sustainable future using cutting-edge methods for learning. In this world, you have plenty of options and many different paths to enhance your skills. You can connect online to study whatever you want, wherever you want, and stop whenever you want to explore your interests. You can exercise in a relaxing environment and engage in a rich social life of a whole community. All of this can happen at one campus. Although it may sound like a virtual utopia, this world is actually real and it's happening now. So come and check it out. What if you could escape reality and go for a ride in a unique world? A world where reality can be played with and where the laws of physics can be engineered. In this world, you are free to use your imagination to create innovative tools. Tools that can help others step to new heights and make a giant leap forward while learning to connect with others and collaborate in teams. You can explore everything that makes you curious and discover what makes us who we are. Go further into the infinitely small, or towards the vastness of the infinitely big. You can take on human challenges here on Earth and design solutions for a sustainable future using cutting-edge methods for learning. In this world, you have plenty of options and many different paths to enhance your skills. You can connect online to study whatever you want, wherever you want, and stop whenever you want to explore your interests. You can exercise in a relaxing environment and engage in a rich social life of a whole community. All of this can happen at one campus. Although it may sound like a virtual utopia, this world is actually real, and it's happening now. So come and check it out. What if you could escape reality and go for a ride in a unique world? A world where reality can be played with and where the laws of physics can be engineered. In this world, you are free to use your imagination to create innovative tools. Tools that can help others step to new heights and make a giant leap forward while learning to connect with others and collaborate in teams. You can explore everything that makes you curious and discover what makes us who we are. Go further into the infinitely small, or towards the vastness of the infinitely big. You can take on human challenges here on Earth and design solutions for a sustainable future using cutting-edge methods for learning. In this world, you have plenty of options and many different paths to enhance your skills. You can connect online to study whatever you want, wherever you want, and stop whenever you want to explore your interests. You can exercise in a relaxing environment and engage in a rich social life of a whole community. All of this can happen at one campus. Although it may sound like a virtual utopia, this world is actually real, and it's happening now. So come and check it out.
It's a real pleasure to welcome you tonight for this edition of the Startup Champion Seed Night, which is co-organized by EPFL Alumni, EPFL Startup Unit, and venturelab. This 9th edition is a bit special, I must say, like everything we're going through in the world at the moment due to the COVID situation. We had to adapt, and we reinvented this event and challenged ourselves to make it as exciting and interactive as the live versions that you may have experienced in this place. So as you can see, we have kept the Rolex Learning Center as the place to give you this EPFL home feel. And I have here invited the startups, the sponsors, and the speakers to join us physically. So we do have a public. So thank you for those sitting here, and thanks to all of you who are online at the moment. So what makes this event quite unique is actually the quality of our tech entrepreneurs. So like each year, you will have the opportunity to see them pitch. We have selected 18 highly promising startups, and they're sitting here also right in front of me, and they will be sharing with passion and drive their venture, and they will convince you to invest in them. So, sorry, this is me, Leila OJ. I'm the EPFL Alumni Director. And so, of course, this is not exactly, we count on you. So, of course, the experience is not exactly the same as if you were here sitting with us. and we don't get the same vibe. But of course, knowing that we have over 800 people, which is twice what we usually have during this event, is quite exciting, and this will definitely boost our entrepreneurs. So thank you. You can, of course, you need to show your support. So you cannot shout in front of your computer. I mean, you can, of course, and clap, but we won't hear you. The best way is actually to use the chat on Hopin to send actually cheerful messages and support your best startups. And also, you can take active part in the vote, because this event is not just about watching. You are part of, actually, of the result. So for each series, you will have to vote, and we count on you. The other thing is you can use the social networks with the hashtag SUChamps, as it is written on the slide, and to actually share also your thoughts. We would like also to thank our partners, our dear partners, for the support over the years. So there is the Service de la Promotion de l'Économie et de l'Innovation, SPEI, Innovo, Swisscom, EY, Logitech, and Kellerhals-Carrard. All of them take an active role in supporting entrepreneurs, and they will have the opportunity to tell you how they do it. So now let's look at the program. The program for tonight. Yes, so after the welcome words by the organizers, we will have all the pitches that will start in 4 series, and they will have 90 seconds each to pitch. And then after, we will have a keynote speech with Eddie Roschi, who couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately, because he's based in Portugal. But we have an interview. And then we will have the winner announcement. The jury will get together to announce actually the winner among the 4 finalists. And when we end up the plenary, you will have the opportunity, just like if we were here at the Rolex, you will have the opportunity to meet the startups at their booth. So there will be an expo area, this time virtual, but in each of them you will be able to meet the startups, the sponsors, and the keynote to interact and ask all your questions. So here we are. So now I will just say a few words about EPFL Alumni before we move on. So we are managing a network of 37,000 talents around the world. They're all EPFL graduates. Many of you are connected tonight, and many are actually sitting in the room. Alumni do contribute a lot to the innovation ecosystem overall. Many of them are entrepreneurs or investors or advisors, or working actually in companies and helping on the innovation side. So we have today 28 chapters around the world. We do help actually the overall ecosystem by giving visibility to all these startups and innovation overall. We also provide expertise through this network with a mentoring program, and you can see on the right all of the slide, all the startups that have gone through our program. And we also organize events such as this one, for instance, but many others to help with the networking and with the investments. You can find all the information on our website and also contact us on alumni@epfl.ch if you are interested. So now I'll pass on the floor to André Catana, who's the new head of the EPFL Startup Unit, to say a few words about his unit. Thank you, André.
Thank you. Thank you, Lena. Thank you. Happy to see many faces, even behind the masks, that I know. The room is not full, but I know there are many people following us remote, and I'd like to thank them for doing that. It's a special situation. For the sponsors, many thanks for your support, and this is absolutely greatly appreciated. So the warmest welcome on behalf of EPFL and on behalf of the Startup Unit. I'd like to briefly go through some of the new things that are going on at the Startup Unit at EPFL. Here we go. We started actually in a remote mode in April, a small team, startup mode, 3 people. Everything we do with the startup unit is support, help throughout the incubation period. So we're really supporting the startup projects while they are incubating in EPFL labs. We're adding value. We're helping to accelerate, to de-risk their projects. Everything actually what may help to get them ready to the first investment campaign. And we're doing that 3 ways. First, through grants. You may well know the Inno grants. We're celebrating this year the 15th anniversary of the Inno grants. More than 140 grants have been granted so far, more than 110 startups. We wanted to be more inclusive, to extend our support with funding, and we started the Ignition grants, and these are dedicated for very early stage projects, projects that are not mature enough to go through the Inno grants, projects that are still looking for their product market fit. In addition to the grants, which are focusing on salaries only, we're putting in place innovation services. You can have a look on the website. We're bringing in design and started a platform which is called Enabled by Design. We're bringing in services for prototyping. We're also giving access to market insights, really data from professional providers that help with powerful indications about the market. And the one program that we really close to our heart is the one that provides opportunities for talents with different backgrounds to join our startup projects. The program is called Startup Internships. Last but not least, we're addressing our student community. So if you are a bachelor student or a master student, look out for the EPFL Changemakers program. There are 2 more days to apply. It's a new program that will start in a couple of weeks from now. Who is behind that? Again, a small team. Isabel Casado, she's with us today. She will be presenting one of the pitch sessions. Isabel is driving the grants, our grants program. Daphna Glaubert, she's managing our design and prototyping program, and myself. So connect with us as soon as you feel you have a bright idea and you're motivated by the startup path. Thank you. This being said, I'd like to introduce Jordi Montserrat, managing partner at venturelab, an old friend, a very good friend and supporter of the startup community of EPFL. Thank you, John.
Thank you very much for this, and here we go. Thank you very much, André, for this kind introduction, and to all of you. It's my great pleasure to be here. It's my great pleasure to be with you. I feel one of those soccer players, you know. We have a very small audience, but still the show is going to be intense because all of the players are here, meaning the supporters. Yes, I see the waves coming, and thank you very much. Here in the room, because and all of the players, which are the startup, are here coming. I have the pleasure to be here. My name is Jordi Montserrat. I think many people in the room already know me and what we do, and there is also quite a few people online. Just in a nutshell, probably at venturelab, and we've been here for over 16 years now. What we are doing is building programs with the ambition to support entrepreneurs starting their journey, particularly in high-tech sector, particularly in fields which requires the investment and the support typically of EPFL and other partners in order to move forward. Concretely, we do this through different tools. I'd like to mention just rapidly a few of them, but they might be useful. If you are at the starting of your journey, you have the InnoSwiss training, which are very useful. We are running the module 3 and 4, including business creations, and those one help you get the necessary tooling. If you already have the tool, complementary to a lot of what is being done here with the supports, and we work very closely with EPFL, we do have the Venture Kick program where you can get up to 150,000 Swiss francs, and as the name indicates, we are here for kicking kicking in the sense that what we want is to be sure that we help you get out of the lab, we give you the positive impact, the positive support, and this kicking is here to advance your project towards the market, also giving you exposure to investors, exposure to the community of people who might be helping you in this journey. We have invested yearly over 3-4 million. This year it is a 5 million budget, and hopefully good news are coming. Stay tuned, but already grab what you can there. We also have the chance to run commonly also with the EPFL, the venture leaders, and this is the next step of international exposure, bringing you abroad, bringing you to the international hubs so that you can confront your idea and your projects at the international level to be sure that you are at the right level. So this is what we're doing here at the venturelab, and the ambition we have with this is really to have impact. I mentioned how much we're investing with VentureKick, and you can see here it's over 4 billion that have been raised by this company across public and private money, and this is what we are hoping. It's not only about the investment, it's all about the jobs being created. It's all about the products being brought to the market and everything that we can help within this development. So that's what we want to do. 32 million invested in the past years, and this is VentureKick. And the international, of course, this year being a particular context, we haven't been able to do international journey, but still we're doing quite a few programs with online pitching, online exposure, exactly what we're doing here tonight, so that we can get a chance to see the startup and to already engage in this development over the next steps before, and we all hope next year we'll be able to start again with our pitching. So this is where we are going forward, and the goal now, of course, is to bring you to the next step, which is the top 100, bring you to the best places, so that we can give you maximum exposure. The ranking has just started, and with the top 100, has just been given this year, recently, a week ago. So see all the new startup coming in, all of what we can bring as exposure, and with this, to be able to, again, hopefully welcome many of you into this ranking in the next year to give you maximum exposure. With this, I am happy to move forward and to introduce somebody who has been also for many years a constant supporter, actually two. We are talking here of the Service de la Promotion Économique et de l'Innovation avec Raphaël Kontz. And Raphaël Kontz and Innovo with Patrick Barbet, both have been also pillars here, helping us putting this event together and helping many programs to move forward. So it's a great pleasure. And for the audience that is here, I would like to give a warm applause to both Raphaël and Patrick for already what they are doing for many years and being here tonight as well. Thank you very much to both of you. You don't have the slides. So.
I will try to skip this. So thank you very much. First, do I have to speak? Okay, perfect. So, ladies, gentlemen, dear entrepreneurs, dear investors, for all that are not here present at the Rolex, I would like to really also welcome on behalf of the Office for Economic Affairs and Innovation to thank EPFL, to thank all the partners that are behind this event. We at Office for Economic Affairs and Innovation are usually supporting different type of organization or startup SMEs. We, for instance, support Innovo. Patrick will speak about the mission and the services offered by Innovo. We support the Technology Foundation, the FIT Foundation, that provides direct loan to startups from 100,000 to 500,000 K. We put 2 million every year, and we have direct incentives for startups up to 100,000 Swiss francs. It's a kind of program dedicated to support projects led by startups and SMEs in regards of innovation, development of the markets, and also for the hiring of technical and scientific staff. But as it was mentioned, this year is really very particular. I think we have reasons to be worried for our economy, for our ecosystems, as we see the evolution of this COVID crisis. And my message tonight would be to orient it towards entrepreneurs, because sometimes in a tough period like the one we are facing There are also solutions that can be developed, new way to see the world, new opportunities. Even with a crisis, there are opportunities behind, and we strongly believe at the State of Vaud that entrepreneurs and investors, especially all the business angel community of our region, all the alumni, EPFL partners, investors, can also make us, help us in making sure that our ecosystem will be sufficiently strong to overcome this crisis. And this is also why we definitely need entrepreneurs to develop new solutions, new technologies into the market. We need investors. We really need, especially in this time, business angels, and we really thank all this investor community from our region. It's really unbelievable, the strong support that we have for developing startups. And this is also why the Canton of Vaud decided this year to have a special incentive to cover the needs of the startups for bridging, I would say, in this period for a few months, all the cash that are needed. Currently, all the fundraising is quite difficult to access investors. Either current or new investors is an issue for startups. So we have decided, together with the Confederation, to provide a loan that is fully guaranteed by the public authorities, Confederation and cantons, up to 1 million. And this has been set up starting from May, and we are now in September, end of September. We have been supporting more than 130 companies for roughly 35 million of Swiss francs in total, so it's roughly a little bit less than 300,000 per company. This is really for providing a bridge. Definitely our startups need to overcome this crisis, and we need the investors to also help us now to really make sure that we are not facing issues that for startups not finding any investment in this period where investment is quite difficult to raise. So I will just end up by saying that if you have any questions about our incentives, feel free to contact either Innovo or directly come to our office. And if you want to know more about what we have been doing and what we are currently thinking of in terms of how we will help also companies and the rest of the economy in terms of this COVID crisis, we are also here to answer any of your questions. So feel free, and once again, a big thank you to all entrepreneurs, to all investors. We definitely need you in this period, so thank you very much.
Well, good evening. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. It's a very special year, it's been said. It's also very special for Innovo because we've changed. We've a new team, a bigger team. We are 15 now. We have new missions. We have a new logo, as you see on the top left here. And actually, our new missions are concentrating on supporting innovation, supporting innovators with the usual support in hosting, in coaching, in financing through SPAY and also FIT, connecting to different research institutions and between companies, and also promoting the successes of startups, of entrepreneurs. But what we also do now is support the companies who want to implement a subsidiary or open up in Switzerland. So we support them in different areas like real estate, taxes, and also work permits, a one-stop shop for companies who want to open up in Switzerland and in Canton Vaud. Another area of support now is growth. We support startups growing up fast with scale-up programs, but also internationalization through expansion in new markets, for example. So we help typically startups. This is today's topic, of course, but also SMEs and scale-ups. We launched 4 years ago the first support program for scale-ups in Switzerland, and it's going strong with 27 scale-ups currently in the program, and you see the program logo on the bottom. We also support now larger companies and multinationals who want to open up in Canton Vaud or connect to innovators and startups. We also support much better, much more intensively investors from abroad or from Switzerland who want to invest in opportunities in deep tech in Switzerland and Canton Vaud. And we are very proud of the 24 startups that are in the top 100 ranking that just came out a couple of weeks ago. This is really encouraging to have so many talented deep tech startups in our region, very promising for the future. So I hope you enjoy the evening, and just keep in touch if you're interested. Thank you very much.
So it is my great pleasure to be back. I was also told that I can do something similar. Oops, sorry, that was a little bit of a small noise here. And basically entering into this first session of pitching, it's a great pleasure to be with all of you here. And introducing this first session, we have now the pleasure to start into the action. Before we do this, it is my role to explain as well how we are going to manage the voting, because you at the audience, we have mentioned to you, we are now expecting you to be supporting us in choosing the finalists of each of the sessions, and then we do have the panel here who will choose the overall winner. As we are moving forward right here, it is something that I need to explain how the vote will jump on Hopin. So you should have on the right of your screen, for all the people who are online, we do have here the screen that you will see and the ability to vote for the voting on Hopin. So you should all be seeing this. I think we do have a small test session that is ready to jump. And we have here, you see, test startup 1, startup 2, startup 3, and who should be winning this first round. So basically, as you are all the startup pitching, that's where we will be asking the audience to participate and to run this first series. Are we launching just a small test round, or are we ready to go? I see the test round is coming. We should have now on the screen the first voting. So I will just ask our audience, as a test run, to start voting for startup 1, 2, and 3 to be sure that you are well connected, that we have the startup voting under control, that you are involved into this, and this is a core role. We really want to make sure that everything for you is ready that your participation allows us to make the best choice tonight. Also for the panel, because the panel at the end will have to take one of these four to tell us whom they think has been the most compelling tonight. And we gave you the criteria, by the way. You are known that it is around the compelling of the opportunity, your ability to pitch the opportunity in a compelling fashion, that you show us what are the core things you've achieved and the core things you plan to achieve in the future, and particularly, of course, the impact of your innovation. I'm just checking if we have. I know the first startups are already waiting here to be starting, but we just want to be sure that the voting is online and set up. It would be sad if the voting is not active right now, and this should be taking place any minute at this stage, and I think it's coming. Are we going on the screen? So we're not going on the screen right now, but I think the voting is under control. So as the voting is under control, then I would like to welcome our first startup. And I think tonight we start with the startup AICA. Am I right? So that's the first startup that we'll have tonight. It is an EPFL, as all of them are actually tonight, EPFL spin-off, as most of them. And it's a great pleasure to welcome the first presenter. You have here the series. The group one will be with AICA, Bloom Biorenewables, MicroArch System, and Flowbone. You see it's 90-second pitch. We will have one winner per series, and then there is the vote. So Depoly, Magma, Limula, and Comper, the third group. Colis, Urbio, Rea, Strong Networks, and REM, our third group. And then the group 4, we have Accorstream, Kaios, Soitec, and Emovo. So with this, Luca, I think you are our first pitcher. It's a great pleasure having you. I shall invite you to take the spot. Remember, it is 90 seconds. And with our group 1, you open the floor tonight. Ready to go?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the introduction.
I can
And
put
I'm ready
your
to
floor.
go.
Here is your panel. The audience is watching. Make sure the audience has a clear message. I want all of you to win tonight, but particularly you, but I shouldn't say that.
Thank you. What a pleasure.
Luca, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the warm introduction. So, I'm Lucas Huber. I'm the co-founder of AICA. We provide an artificial intelligence to democratize robotics. So robotics programming in industry is very difficult. So if you take, for example, the watchmaking, polishing, you see it's a very high and precise motion that you do, and it requires a lot of agility. If you program such a task on a robot, we need to be aware of everything. We need to know what size, we need to know the exact shape, we need to know what force to apply at each time. This task can take several weeks to implement, and if not done right, you will leave scratches or might even break the expensive watch glass. We at AICA provide a solution which makes interaction with robots simple and safe. Our software allows to take simple assembly of modules to create a robotic task. The artificial intelligence underlying the modules then really allows the robot to learn and adapt automatically the whole time. And in fact, in industry, a lot of tasks are highly complex. Over 75% of industrial tasks cannot be automated due to their complexity. Our solution can solve this problem. And for Switzerland, this solution allows us to make production locally again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Luca. Absolutely a great presentation. So now we have robots working, and they work for us. Well, I hope I won't be replaced by a robot, but I don't think that was where it happened. So now we go to the next one, and we have the pleasure to welcome Florent from Bloom Biorenewables. Florent, you are our next presenter. It's a great pleasure having you.
Thank you, Jordi. So let's look around us. The plastics from those chairs, or the carpet on the floor, the jacket you are wearing, or even the fragrance you are wearing, all those things are made from petroleum. Every day, we use 13 million barrels a day only to make those objects. This is highly unsustainable, so why don't we switch to more sustainable resources? Well, all the technologies available today are not efficient. So green products are either too expensive or not performing well. So at Bloom, our products are high quality, sustainable, and cost competitive. So we reveal the hidden potential of plants using one core value, efficiency. And with that efficiency, we double the value extracted from biomass. And it's actually very simple. By the addition of a single ingredient during the process, our technology prevents degradation occurring during biomass processing. So we process biomass to make plastics, textiles, and fragrances. And we will expand to other markets tomorrow. We developed that process just across the street from there, and since then we raised 3.5 million euros, and we are currently running a pilot project in Fribourg to validate both the technology and the market at the 500 liter scale. So we want to make biomass a green alternative to petroleum, but we will not do that alone. So if you want to join that exciting challenge, please get in touch with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Florent. So already a second case, and I hope your voting is already made difficult. In any case, we jump and we welcome John. John will be our next presenter for MicroR. I think, John, you've seen the competition is tough.
It is.
But I know you're going to give it your best. Welcome, John.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. I've been fortunate in my career to be able to work in some world-class laboratories where we use lasers with very pure colors to do some amazing things, from making quantum computers to making some of the most accurate measurements of anything ever. And it was during this time that I developed a passion for wanting to take precision laser technology out of the lab and do something useful with it. And this is where MicroR's slogan, "Passion for Precision," comes from. We're passionate about making lasers with very pure colors for precision applications. One of the challenges facing industries today, like telecommunication, fiber sensing, distance measurements known as LiDAR, and quantum technology, is not having lasers with pure enough colors, because this leads to noise and causes huge problems with these systems. And at MicroR, we have the solution. We have a compact technology that can fit in the palm of your hand that allows you to make lasers with colors that are 1,000 times purer than typical systems. And right now, we're currently already working with the European Space Agency to make next-generation laser systems for space-based clocks. And right now, MicroR is looking to raise a seed round of funding to bring our technology to market. But more importantly, we're looking for people who share our passion for precision. My name is John Jost, and I'd be happy to tell you more about MicroR.
Wonderful, John. Thank you very much. I think we've covered already quite a few fields, impressive round. And actually, one place where Switzerland is very strong, EPFL as well. We're entering MedTech. Flowbone, Ulrike, great pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Jordi. So, good evening, everybody. Did you know that while you're aging, your bones are constantly losing substance and they are getting more and more fragile? And did you know that in 1/3 of the women and 1/5 of the men, this process is accelerated? They have a condition called osteoporosis. If you have osteoporosis, your bones, they can break anytime, just after a small fall or shock. If it's your hip that breaks, it's really a nightmare, because in this case, you have a 60% chance to never walk again like you used to walk before. And if you're aged over 70, it's even worse, because most of the patients just die because it's so hard to recover from the fracture and the surgery. Prevention of osteoporotic hip fractures is today still a big challenge, because all the anti-osteoporotic drugs, they just do not work well for the hips. At Flowbone, we have the solution. We have developed a gel that is simply injected into the hip and then strengthens the bone where it's needed most. 3 times more efficient and 3 times faster than any drug therapy. It will protect your hips for at least 3 to 5 years. And as you also want to have a strengthening of the rest of your skeleton, you can combine it with every drug therapy. We want to make hip fractures history. And in order to get there, we need your support. We need 1.6 million to finance our preclinical studies. Let's get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ulrike. Is there one thing we haven't touched yet? Yes, definitely another global challenge. We're talking about energy with the name of Energio. That's what Mahmoud is going to introduce. Welcome, Mahmoud.
Thank you very much. There is one common thing between all of these use cases that we can see here. They are all still looking for a reliable power supply that can meet their required autonomy, independent from the grid and independent from the weather. The conventional power sources are extremely heavy, very expensive to implement and maintain, and they are very inefficient. In fact, we might have the solution for that in our daily life. And maybe some of us are carrying it already in our pocket. Imagine a cigarette lighter. Cigarette lighter is filled with a liquid butane. Liquid butane has 60 times more energy density than a lithium battery. Of course, this energy has to be converted to the electricity. And this is exactly what we are doing at Energio. We have developed a miniaturized fuel cell technology that can deliver reliable electricity. We can deliver a clean and lightweight power wherever is needed. We can operate based on any kind of chemical fuel that we can imagine. We can use accessible butane all the way to the green hydrogen. So far, thanks to our supporters, we have a working prototype, and we are set to have our first demo by the end of this year. My name is Mahmoud Haddad, and I'm more than happy to discuss with each of you at today's virtual booth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So to all of this, I would like to actually call the 5 of them. I mean, we're not in the audience right there. Maybe Ulrike, you also come back. All the 3 that were here, Mahmoud, come back. So I think it is important now. We're entering into the voting of this session. And I would like to have all the pictures, and to all of you already first, congratulations for this first series. You're going to make the life of the voting online of our investors very difficult. I think for the next series, it's even going to be harder because there will be no money left. You know, all the investments will take place right now with the opportunities we've been putting in port. So you have here all the startups. You've seen the ones that we've voted, ranging. And you see here, for those who are online, you see it on the screen, on your screen. You say show results. And right here, we can see on the right side for the audience that is in the room, how and is the voting going on. And we have here our startups. Don't worry, the money is flowing. And somehow we can see that Flowbone. I think we have a lot of old people who wants to be repaired online, you know. So I think that that's what is having the flow. But everyone is getting some of investment. We can see that Flowbone is having a lead. I think we will let it run for about 30 seconds to make sure that the voting is strong. Energio having quite a bit with 22 votes with all of the people here. And the votes are still coming in. We see that we have quite a bit of money coming, but Flowbone having a strong link. The rest having received quite a few. Shall we leave it another 10 seconds? I will do the countdown. But definitely, I think that tonight, the first finalist for this series, with everyone having received quite a bit of investment, but we have the pleasure, that will be your first choice for the finalists to our panel, Flowbone with bone regenerations, and for all of us to be in better shape on the longer term. And to all the others, I would like still to give a big applause to all the pitchers today, because amazing solutions that they presented. One last look, and yes, congratulations, Ulrike. And now it is my pleasure to pass the word to Laila for the second series. Congratulations to all of you. And for all the investors online, definitely you have no choice. If you come and you say you haven't seen anything you like, a second series is coming.
Thank you, Jordi. So, before we go into the second series, I have the pleasure and honor to welcome on stage another Leila Aganovic, Investment Director at Swisscom Ventures, the venture capital arm of Swisscom Group. Leila has joined the group in June 2019 and is an EPFL alumna from Master in Communication Systems. So thank you, Leila, and the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. So first, I would like to tell you how lucky I feel that to be part of this Swiss innovation ecosystem, because I think that we have an incredible unlocked potential here. And before you say, yeah, well, this is really impossible to scale up a successful business here, let me just tell you why I am so enthusiastic about this country and why I think that the biggest upswing for all of us is actually here in this market. Until now, Switzerland has been successfully exporting disruptive business ideas. But imagine just how valuations are going to be changing once we start exporting scalable businesses. This is what is going to make the difference. And you will then see how fast this ecosystem will change and will expand once we get more of these. This is where Swisscom Ventures, I think, can really be of help, because we have 14 years now of experience. We have an international network with top-notch VCs. We also have very strong corporate links, and this is how we can provide you with the support you need to get there. We are active partners to our portfolio companies, and we help them really scale whenever we can. We also like to think of Swisscom Ventures as a startup. So like any one of you here, we keep learning and we keep broadening also our own skills. So whenever whatever you think that you knew Swisscom Ventures a year ago or 2 years ago, come back and revisit our case again, because I can guarantee you that you will be surprised who we are today. And as a leading Swiss investor, it is our task to know your strengths and weaknesses so that we can better provide you with the kind of support you need at the time you really need it. And as the end, I would like to say that we had, all of us, as Leila said it before, lots of challenges this year. And Swisscom Ventures is definitely here ready to take all the challenges ahead. Now the question is, are you in there with us? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Leila. And so now I will call on stage all the startups for the second round. So there is Samantha Anderson for Depoly. There is Maxime Gabella for Magma Learning. Then there is Jan Pearson for Limula Biotech and Amael Coaides for Compare Technologies. Samantha will start. Thank you, Samantha, for coming.
Hello. So right now, plastic is made from oil. And a PET water bottle, for example, can be recycled. However, it has to remain clean. Plastic recycling in general is really complicated because plastic gets dirty, it gets mixed with other plastics, there's other colors that get mixed in with this as well, or it's in the form of fabrics and fibers. And so of the 56 million tons of PET plastic that we produce yearly, only 9% is actually recycled, with the vast majority ending up in our oceans, our landfills, and incineration centers. So to make plastic recycling sustainable and plastic sustainable, we need to move from the current linear economy to a circular economy, and at Depoly we're doing just that. We offer a simple and sustainable solution to take the low-valued post-consumer PET plastic waste and convert it back into its high-valued original chemical components at room temperature. This means that we can treat dirty plastic, mixed colors, mixed plastics, as well as fabrics and fibers. And the raw material that we generate can then be sold back to industry so that industry can make new virgin quality plastic without the need of oil. So we're therefore creating a circular, sustainable economy right now for PET plastic and soon all plastics. We are in a fundraising round right now. We are closing it, so if you are interested, please reach out to me. And yeah, I'm Samantha Anderson. I'm the CEO and I'm the co-founder of Depoly. Let's rethink recycling together.
Excellent. Thank you, Samantha. I hope we can find a solution for that. So now there is, I would like to call on stage Maxime Gabella for Magma Learning. Thank you.
Merci. So again, never mind. So yes, I'm Maxime, founder of Magma Learning. So our mission is to help companies and institutions to enhance the effectiveness of learning thanks to artificial intelligence. Yes. So we've developed ARI 9000, which is an app that acts like a personal AI tutor for employees or students. So the way it works is that ARI will first analyze knowledge sources like books, articles, courses, regulations, etc. And it can really be based on any topic. So say from management skills to biophysics. And then based on that, using some advanced natural language processing, ARI will automatically generate some micro-learning content, like puzzles and multiple choice questions. You can see here an example to learn about proteins. And then ARI will show the right content to the right person at the right moment using spaced repetition, which is a well-established psychological principle that maximizes long-term retention. So ARI, the personalization actually gets better and better as you learn. And ARI is already used in many organizations, like here at EPFL, where it helped students to improve their grades from 4.0 to 4.8. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Maxime. And so now I would like to call on stage Jan Pearson from Limula Biotech.
Thank you. CAR T cells represent a revolution in medicine, with the potential to treat over 3 million people each year. Cancer patients with no alternative can be saved using these personalized treatments. Unfortunately, many of them will not benefit, because at the moment, the industry can only produce a few tens of thousands doses every year. CAR T production is incredibly difficult, expensive, unreliable, and labor-intensive. And while many companies, more than 1,000, are developing new CAR T products, only a handful is trying to improve the way these therapies are manufactured. At Limula, we develop a technology that can perform every step of the CAR T manufacturing process in a single device directly at the hospital. Our solution is based on a patented bioreactor, part of a sterile kit that can be mounted on an operating unit. And because one kit is necessary to produce a unique batch for each patient, we'll generate revenues based on single-use consumables that can be sold at 10 times the cost of goods. Our business model is basically the Nespresso machine for cancer therapies. We are now finalizing our MVP, and we'll be testing the device in a CAR T-cell lab using a benchmark therapy as a test. We're now raising a pre-seed fund to accelerate the process, bring a business person on the team, and partner with industry leaders to develop further new applications. I'm Luc Henry, and together with my colleague Jan Pearson, we want to make the most advanced cancer therapies accessible to everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now I would like to call on stage Amael Coedes for Compare. Thank you, Amael.
Thank you very much. So at Compare, we believe in a world without material waste, and our focus is on extending the lifetime of composite applications. Composite materials are applied to many industries thanks to their lightweight properties. They can be made of glass, carbon, or natural fibers, embedded in a resin to create structural components. These materials are typically used into sports, marine, wind, and aerospace industries. Even though they are very great, there is a big issue during their lifetime. Small cracks that grow more and more until catastrophic failure. And this is a global problem related to repair and recycling of those composites. With Compare, we are bringing the solution to reduce maintenance costs while having a positive impact on the environment. So our solution is textiles that are pre-impregnated with our magic chemistry. We sell those to part manufacturers for them to manufacture full composite parts, boats, or hockey sticks, for example. And these have new functionalities. A 400 times faster repair, as well as an efficient recycling. The beauty of this technology is that we can extend our product portfolio to best meet the market needs. Thanks to grants and awards, we have now an industrialized product, the Healtech series, that has been shipped to the first clients into the marine and sports industries. And we are currently fundraising to secure our market penetration. My name is Amael Coad, I'm CEO of Compare, and this development directly follows my PhD thesis. Together with the incredible Compare team, we are the perfect combination to succeed and make a large impact with this technology on the market. Thank you very much.
Perfect. So I think we've done now our 4 startups for this round. And we will start with the voting for the second round. So is it possible to put it on the scene? Thank you very much. So we have, and I will also call the entrepreneurs on stage to come for the voting and see the results. So Samantha, Maxime, Jan, and Amael, if you could come. So who's winning at the moment? I see that Samantha with Depoli is actually on top. And then there's also Limula Biotech, who's starting to take, no, Depoli. So for the moment, we will wait a little bit still, and then, so. Good luck. So maybe plastic will go away, or cancer. So we'll wait a little bit still. Here you can see as well the results there. So I think we're at 45%, 95 votes for Dépoli. Should we call it? Yes? People in the room, yes, we go? All right. So Samantha, congratulations. So I will call now Isabelle, who's working in the startup funding program at the VPI, to introduce the third series. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So it's my great pleasure to welcome our sponsor, Jean-Michel Charbon from Logitech. So Jean-Michel is head of AI at Logitech. He is also the site manager of the Logitech offices, which are here at our EPFL Innovation Park. Logitech is, as many of you know, one of the first startups of EPFL and a real flagship of EPFL technology. Jean-Michel is also an alumni of our school. He studied microtechnology here, and he has remained very close to our startup ecosystem and a very close partner that we are very thankful to have. With this, I would like to welcome Jean-Michel on stage. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. Very pleased to be here. Yeah, a 40-year-old startup as of next year, so hang in there and we'll invite you for the celebration. So Logitech is very proud to be a sponsor of tonight's event. To us, it shows how strong our innovation capability is here in Switzerland. It's not foreign to our past successes. At Logitech, we foster the entrepreneurial spirit of the new ventures as we continuously need to reinvent ourselves in a very dynamic industry. Over time, we've developed many new categories, from productivity to enterprise communications and entertainment. Today, we innovate in many new domains, including streaming and broadcasting, with our Streamlab service, which millions of users stream to Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube Live. Another example is Playmaster, our new training platform for esports athletes. After years of lab research, we've harnessed the key elements of cognitive performance for gamers. In VR, we've developed unique 6 degrees of freedom tracking solutions, and we partner with leaders like Oculus, if you've followed the news last week. But there are too many domains for us to explore alone, as you can see here. We're already involved with many startups, for example, in 3D video streaming or in brain-machine interfaces. So tonight, we invite you to reach out if you have common interests, if you're open to collaborate. My colleagues and I will be happy to meet here or online tonight at 6:30. Or anytime afterwards. In the meantime, I wish the best to all the contestants and may the best one win. Thank you.
Thank you, Jean-Michel. And so now we're ready for our third group. I'm delighted to welcome them. We have Kaulis, we have Orbio, we have Rea, and we have REM Analytics, and we have Strong Networks. So we have 2 projects that start with R, so I'll make sure that I make it very clear for the voters that we don't get too confused. So I start straight away. So please, Grégoire from Kaulis.
Thank you.
The mic is working. We're all good?
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks. Worldwide, fresh vegetables we eat every day travel on average 2,000 kilometers. And this has a negative impact on quality, local and sustainable consumption, and value for money. At Kaulis, we have developed the Kaulis Farm. It's a smart vertical farm that settles everywhere. In universities, like you can see here at EPFL, in home, cafeterias, restaurants, with one objective: make any consumer become a producer. Hence, this tool is very simple to use, brings hyper-local fresh production everywhere in the world, and all this at the best price. There is no intermediaries, no supply chain, no packaging, no food waste. And our vision is very clear. With all the units we are deploying on the world, we would like to build the largest farm of the world. So to this, we need your support. My name is Grégoire Gentil. I'm co-founder and CEO of Colis. And we are realizing next year a seed funding round. So to achieve this vision, we need you, and it will be a pleasure for me to e-connect afterwards. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And so our next pitch will be with Sébastien. Sébastien, welcome. Sébastien will be presenting Urbio. Thank you very much.
At Urbio, we're on a mission to stop climate change and to save billions of people like him. This slide would be very helpful. Thank you very much. So, we're on a mission to stop climate change. And if we want to save billions of people like him from tragic fates, we need to urgently focus on cities. Because cities are emitting tons of carbon into the atmosphere, mainly to heat, cool, and electrify the buildings we live in. The good news? We already have all the clean technologies we need to decarbonize buildings. The bad news? They are not being implemented fast enough for our friend here. One of the top reasons for this, the people in charge of planning energy systems in cities are still relying mainly on paper and spreadsheets. So our vision at Urbio is to provide them with a fully digital solution that combines AI with human expertise to automatically generate plans. This is game-changing for the climate because every project planned with Urbio can be 15% more efficient and produced in 75% less time. So these two effects combined will make sure that we can flatten the curve of carbon emissions. And we're extremely excited because this year, our first customers have started to use Urbio in their projects to reduce more CO2 faster. And next to that, we already raised over $500,000 to develop our software further. But to move even faster, we need your help. So if you're an investor or a software developer, as passionate as us about climate change, please do come speak to us afterwards. And if you're neither of those, no worries. You can still help fight climate change by remembering him when it comes time to vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry for the slide. So our next pitch will be with Lulia from REA. Lulia, welcome.
Thank you, Isabelle.
Thank you very much. And this time I will get the slide. There we go.
Perfect. Half of all women who deliver preterm show no risk factors and have no early symptoms of preterm birth. In other words, neither these women nor their doctor have a clue that their baby is going to be born preterm. This is a terrible scenario for any mom-to-be, as doctors cannot take the preventive medical acts to delay delivery. Even one more day in the womb of the mom can save the life of the baby and can spare months spent in incubator. Preterm birth is the first cause of death of infants under 5 years old, while survivors face high chances of disability. REA provides a medical device that effectively identifies women at risk of preterm birth. After years of research in EPFL and the University Hospital of Lausanne, we have created this medical device that is able to monitor effectively and remotely the risk of preterm birth. Today we are fundraising, and we are this close to create an impact in the neonatal healthcare system. If you're an investor that wants to create an impact, come talk to us and let's make this happen together. Thank you.
Thank you, Lulia. So the fourth pitch of this round is Laurent Balmelli. Laurent, welcome. He will be talking about strong networks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope I can last 90 seconds.
You have your timing will start now. You're fine.
Okay, so we're not solving climate change, as I can tell you right away, and we're very geeky, so bear with me. So we're actually trying to help companies to collaborate securely around code development and data science So let's say, for instance, if you're nearshoring, offshoring, if you have a pilot joint collaboration with companies, and if you want to be competitive, I mean, every companies today need to collaborate. But let's say if you want to do this, you have to do it securely. You have to make sure that your code doesn't leak. You have to ensure that your data stays on your premises. So you make sure that all the documents that you share stay confidential. So we provide a solution basically for people to do all that. So we provide metrics to see how people collaborate, how efficient people work. We provide confidentiality over all the documents, and we provide traceability, for instance, to ensure that compliance was preserved during collaboration, make sure that everything is traceable. And that's it. I feel very geeky, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And now our very last pitch of this round. We have RAM Analytics with Paulo. Paulo, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for inviting us. I will start with some open questions. If you buy a lot of a single crop, such as corn, can you know where it's coming from? Can we make beer with the same depth of flavor as the best wines? Or how can we improve the chances of an in vitro fertilization cycles? What all these questions have in common is that to answer them, we need to be able to profile and measure complex ecosystems. Ecosystems of bacteria, fungi, plants. At RAM Analytics, we've developed the technology that allows us to analyze complex ecosystems and see them as geometry. Now, geometry is something that EPFL teaches us very well, so it becomes suddenly simple. So, if you're a company active in the medical, food sector, or an investor looking for new opportunities, or just curious to know the answer to my original questions, then please come and visit us in Monte, in Valles. Contact me, I'm Paolo Refinetti, and for those of you who are wondering what this is a human gut microbiome turned into geometry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paolo. So now it's time to vote. I welcome all our speakers, please, to come here and look at the votes as they happen. So please, Sébastien, Lulia, Laurent, Paolo, and Grégoire, sorry. Stand here with me. We will look at the votes as they happen. So we have Rhea ahead. Laurent, oh, there we are, all of us. We're going to give this a little bit more. It looks like it's Women's Night tonight, huh? It will be the third. For once, it's okay, huh? Yeah, absolutely. There we go. So I'll give it another 10 seconds. Close fight between Rhea and Orbio there. But I think it's more or less stable. So one more woman for our final. Congratulations, Lulia. Thank you very much. I let you guys go. And now I'm going to pass to the maître de cérémonie, Jordi.
Thank you very much, Isabel. And I am entering into this fourth series. But before this, I think it's a right moment to welcome the managing partner here in Suisse Romande of Ernst & Young, Mark Hawkins. I think everyone knows Ernst & Young, which is very active actually in supporting startups, in supporting SMEs, particularly with the Entrepreneur of the Year award. I think you're going to mention more about this. I pass you the floor, Mark. The floor is yours. For our introduction of Ernst & Young.
Yeah, thank you, Jordi. Indeed, I will talk about Entrepreneur of the Year. Ernst & Young have a long history of working with startups, entrepreneurs all around the world. Some examples, for example, our very first biotech client in the world was Genentech, which we started with in 1976, grew to a multi-billion revenue company before merging with Roche. Google, we started with them when they were in a garage. There are lots of examples like that around the world. We work, we coach, we mentor, we provide professional services, we help the networking. and the growth of startups through very small up into startup scale-ups, I think I saw on the Swisscom slide, startup scale-ups into large companies. We have our Startup Accelerator Program, Growth Program, and Entrepreneur of the Year is indeed, it's one of our flagship competitions, the main competition, Entrepreneur of the Year. We also have EY Entrepreneurial Winning Women, which seems to be the case this evening, I believe. Strategic Growth Forums, EY Ripples. The EY Entrepreneur of the Year, I believe it's the largest and most prestigious award in the world. It's not just a Swiss competition. Swiss winners we've had in the past from Lausanne include Sophia Genetics, MindMaze, AC Immune. AC Immune's a good example of a company. We started working with them as a startup, took them right up to the NASDAQ IPO, and even Actilion was a global winner of Entrepreneur of the Year. So just to say, it's in our DNA to support startups and entrepreneurs. We're very happy to continue the conversation, or if you want to apply to one of our competitions around entrepreneurship, we'd be very happy to welcome you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark, for this introduction and for the support you bring to this event. We're entering now into our fourth series. You already have 3 finalists. It's a bit of woman power, so let's see, Margot, if you can continue on this great series. Our next presentation, we have the pleasure to welcome Margot from ArcoScreen.
Thank you.
The floor will be yours. That's our fourth series, Naya Cummings, but we have Kaios ID, Emovo, and Soitec. We're again doing a tour of all the best of what Switzerland and EPFL have to offer. I will give you the floor right now.
Thank you very much. We all know someone with liver cancer, Alzheimer's, or diabetes. We may not know that all those diseases involve G-protein-coupled receptors, also known as GPCRs. Indeed, those receptors represent half of all prescription drugs today. However, current screening methods are time-consuming and rely on model cells that do not properly recapitulate the disease. And this leads to higher failure rate in expensive clinical trials. This is why we developed SynScreen. SynScreen is ideally suited for drug discovery, as it is a simple, fast, and automated screening platform adapted for patient cells. SynScreen is composed of a patented test method carried out in a microfluidic chip and combined with an instrument that analyzes and automates the assay. Thankfully, we have already secured grants for the upcoming year. We want support from industrial drug screening experts to help us and to sharpen our business model. Because at ArcoScreen, we aim to improve drug development to change patients' lives. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Margot. It's been a pleasure. So we jump into our next presentation. We have the pleasure to welcome Johan. Johan, your turn to share about Kaios ID.
Thank you. Kaios ID helps brands to tackle $1 trillion problem. We help them to fight counterfeiting and gray market. How does it work? Imagine you're a consumer or an authorized controller and you want to know if a product is real or fake. With Kaios ID, all you have to do is to scan it with your smartphone and you will instantly know if it's real or fake. And if it's real, you can access all the product information. On their side, the brands will access all the scans history and all the analytics to know exactly what's going on with their product on the field. How do we do that? We generate and integrate hidden variation in the product packaging design that will act as the product's fingerprint. The main benefits for our clients is that our solution is more secure, is cost-effective, easy to use and implement. And our prospects, they understand that. And this is why we are ready to close our 2 first contracts. The first one to secure 4 million bank checks per day, and the second one to provide a full traceability solution for CBD products. In our team, we have more than 15 years experience in the packaging and anti-counterfeiting industries, but also in software development, in machine vision, and in entrepreneurship. We already closed more than 400,000 non-equity funding, and we are now onboarding investors for a seed round. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, Johan. So as we can see now, also our mic check are ready. We continue and we come back into energy and Saurabh. It's a great pleasure to welcome you for the presentation of SciTech, where we will have solar fuel, but a smarter way, from what I can see.
Thanks, Jordi. So hello everyone. Let me ask you guys a very simple but very important question. Wouldn't it be great if we could reduce our dependency on current fossil fuels, which are anyway exhausting and are the major cause of damages to our environment? And wouldn't it be equally amazing if we could produce a fuel just by using sunlight and water? The simple answer is yes, this would be absolutely great, and that is exactly what we do at SciTech. We provide renewable systems for on-site production of solar fuel and solar power. And the fuel which we are talking about here is hydrogen. So our product in fact looks and functions like a tree. So it comprises of a big parabolic reflector which collects the sunlight and focuses it onto our groundbreaking patent-pending device, which uses the solar energy and water to produce not only highly pure hydrogen, but also oxygen, electricity, and heat. So it's a true cogeneration system which does it in a much cleaner, greener, and cost-effective way than any other competing solution. And with this, we aim to cater to the needs of your industries, your homes, as well as your farms. So if you want to be part of this journey in making the fuel of the future, that is hydrogen, a reality of today, then come contact us. My name is Saurabh, and I would be happy to connect with you. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Saurabh. We enter into the final pitch tonight. I hope our audience here has seen the wealth and the diversity of all the products. And the final pitch, for this we welcome Luca. Luca, you will be our final, but yet, I guess, very exciting presenter. We welcome Emovo.
Thanks. Hello, everyone. My name is Luca from Emovo Care. We are an EPFL spin-off. We would like a slide as well. Jordi, slide. We are an EPFL spin-off on a mission to deliver as accessible care to people with motor disabilities. Our first product is a fully portable hand exoskeleton that can support functional exercises directly at home. The system has been developed, it can be autonomously worn directly by the patients, and the patients can track in parallel their progress through an application. The system is based on a patented technology that I developed throughout my PhD at EPFL, and throughout these last years, we already developed and tested it with more than 150 between patients and clinicians. We are currently fundraising 1 million francs in order to achieve CE marking and launch our first product in Switzerland by next year. In the future, we have great plans to improve the intelligence of our systems through software, to expand to other parts of the body, and to go to other pathologies. Therefore, if you're an investor, I ask you to join us to start delivering our product onto the hands of the 40 million stroke users who live with hand impairments already today. And actually, it's going to be 40 million plus one user. She's my sister, Chiara, and due to a cerebral palsy, she cannot use her hands. This is why I started this project and why at Emovo we care about bringing care directly at home. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Luca. You can stay here, you are the finalists, so I think I will call all the other finalists, and now it is time to vote. I would like to call all the other entrepreneurs that presented in this session, and online we will now we know the process, put the screen to see whom our audience is choosing tonight. Let's see how it continues, and I think that The strong leadership skills of Luca are speaking. It seems that Luca is taking sort of a lead. You gave an order, it was clear. And with this, we continue, but the voting seems to be increasing for Soitec. And this, I have to leave it running a little bit because we never know now the voting is online. I think our audience, you can see, we have 100 of participation, and who won round 3 was, we are at round 4. Who wins the final round? This one. Emovo keeps the lead. The rest is still running, but again, it seems everyone is getting some great support. Luca, you still have a lead. I leave it another 5 seconds, but I think we can call it a winning. We have Luca into this final round. Congratulations, Luca, for your pitch. So at this stage, I can invite you to leave the floor. We are reaching now the part where our panel will have to choose. But before we do this, and our panel, just as a small reminder, you've seen our 4th winner. So we have Ulrike from Flowbone. We do have Samantha from DePoly, Luila from Rea, and finally, Luca with Emovo. Those were our 4 finalists tonight. Again, I think that for the audience, you've seen an amazing sequence of pitches. So there are investment opportunities for all the investors, partnership opportunities for all of you. And as the panel is going to move into their discussion to decide who should be the winner, before this, I need to take one of the members who is also supporting us tonight. Alexandre, I would like to call you forward on behalf of Kelehal Skara, in law firm who is supporting startup for quite a long time and which has many things to offer. I leave you the floor. Thank you very much, Alexandre.
Thank you. Well, I must admit, Jordi, that I'm a little bit ashamed of having notes when I see all the startups pitching without any notes, so we try to do without that. My name is Alexander. I'm heading the startup activities here in the Romandie for Kelehal Skara. I would like first, because we're very fortunate, I would like first to thank the EPFL Alumni, the EPFL Startup and venturelab, and all the startups, of course, pitching tonight for organizing this event, making this event possible. We're very lucky and very happy to be here tonight. And I have a second message. This message is to the startups, to the students, to the founders, to the entrepreneurs. I really think the world, needs your courage, your creativity, your trust in the future, your confidence, your passion, your mindset. And, we need to make this world a better world, and we can do that with you. We're lawyers, we're expert consultants, audit companies, public authorities, and we are here to help you, assist you, making of this world a better world, but we need you for that. And I hope you will enjoy your evening at home here at the EPFL, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alexandra. Don't go too far. Stay with us, please, because now in my role and in my capacity, I am going to take all the panel with me. We will disappear while the rest of the audience enjoys the keynote. We had to find a way to give you a little bit of time to make this difficult choice. As a reminder, thank you very much to Leila from Swisscom, Alexandre from Kelehal, Raphael from the SPI, Marc from AY, Jean-Michel from Logitech, and Patrick from Innovo. You have the difficult mission across the jury vote, the opportunity, the USP, the action plan, the financials, and the capacity to pitch. I forward you towards Come With Me, and then I pass the word, of course, to Leila to introduce our keynote tonight. Thank you, Leila, and let me give you this one while I take the panel away.
Thank you. Thank you, Jordi. So we're going to see soon who's going to be the winner. And before that, so I will, present you, maybe, some of you will be here actually a few years later with a super success story. So I'm going to share with you the story of Eddie Roschi. Unfortunately, as I said, he couldn't come. He lives in Portugal, and he couldn't fly to do his pitch here. So we managed, we adapted, and we'll show you a little movie and as well as an interview. And then after, you will have the chance to interact with live with Eddie. He has his booth as well, and so you'll have a chance to ask all your questions. So Eddie is actually a chemical engineer from EPFL in '94. So he actually wore a lab coat, and he was in the labs here, you know, doing all his lab work. And maybe this inspired him to create his venture. And he also did. He's also an INSEAD alum. Many INSEAD alumni are connected tonight, so he's also part of that community. So what I will say is that Eddie left, actually when he finished EPFL, he joined Firmenich, which is one of the largest fragrance and flavor company. And this is where actually he got the expertise, and he dived into the world of fragrances. He was actually in charge of Africa and Middle East. Then after he did his MBA, he continued in the perfume industry and joined L'Oréal, and he was in charge of the product development for Armani perfumes worldwide. Then Eddie, this is where he met actually Fabrice, his co-founder, and they were both actually, after a while, they really knew really well about product development within L'Oréal, so they decided they were a bit frustrated by, you know, the big corporates, so they decided to start their own venture, which is Le Labo. You can see here a little bit of the environment of Le Labo, and it was actually about breaking the rules of perfumery. And they didn't go with no investor funding, no advertising, which is something quite unique in the fragrance industry. As you can see, people have to invest a lot. It's really hard to break in this industry if you don't have the budget, the advertising budget. And so they started actually this concept where it was about going back to the essentials and also about fresh formulation in the store. And so they opened the first store in New York City on Elizabeth Street, and here it went. So we're gonna see a little short film actually of that was done by Le Méridien, by Kiki Alleguière from Le Méridien, to show a little bit of the ambiance and the personality of Eddie and his co-founder. So, Vincent, if we can show the movie.
Le Labo and our vision is all about freshness. This is Edouard Roschi, co-founder of Le Labo. And this is Fabrice Penaud, the other half. Perfume is the opposite of wine. It does not age well. So if you're going to be spending more on something that's extremely qualitative and creative, you might as well get something that's freshly made for you, just like very good food and very good restaurants. We had the idea in Grasse. And we raised it in New York. That's why we say that Le Labo is born in Grasse, raised in New York.
The town of Grasse in France is famous for being the garden of the world. For fragrance is the business of Grasse.
We're not perfumers per se because we don't actually make the blends themselves. We work with perfumers hand in hand to develop scents. I would say we're more creators in the sense of olfactive creative directors.
We do freshly handmade perfume from 11 creations that are already set. So you come in the store and we have you go through the 11 scents, and the one with which you connect with, we put them on skin and we check their own interaction with your chemistry. 10 perfume, that is our main collection, and we have one that is only created for this place, actually this is in New York.
We developed the idea of having city-specific scents as sort of a tribute to anti-globalization of luxury. Where if you want the New York smell, you're going to have to come down and get the smell in our New York store. This exclusivity in the fact that every experience, every connection to a space, to a place, to a séjour, to the usage of perfume is unique. And that's obviously, it's like friendship. I mean, you can't be everyone's friend.
Yep. So you can see this is a little bit the atmosphere of the adventure. So they opened their second store then in LA, and they started to expand actually in the US, and then in Asia, and then Europe, and then they also had great word of mouth and amazing creations. So there's the Santal 33, and success was there. So in 2018, this is where in 2014. Today, they have about 400 stores worldwide, and they sold it actually to Estée Lauder in 2014. So this was a major success in this industry at least. And yeah, so it's great. So now Eddie is actually continuing to work with the Labo and doing all the creative work with, together with Fabrice. But Estée Lauder manages actually all the logistics. And yeah, and he has also time to do some kite surfing and investing in new ventures. So voila. So now I'm going to call now the jury to see if they if they finished actually, because now they have to come. So you will see Eddie later, and you will ask actually all the questions. So let's wait for the jury to come. I'm going to call them coming.
I was working for L'Oréal for 3 years, and my business partner Fabrice Penaud was working for the same brand. We were managing Armani fragrances. So a lot of the things that we were doing were new. And after several years, after 3-4 years, we became frustrated with the way that that we were developing perfumes and how we interacted with people in the process of developing perfumes. We told each other that that we should stop complaining and do something about it. We wanted to be able to be accountable for our own mistakes. So I would say that I wasn't a born entrepreneur, but I knew that freedom was a big drive for my personal and professional development, and entrepreneurship became the natural response to that point that I had identified. And I think that, and it's probably one of your questions, is that being an entrepreneur takes a lot of introspection. It's a personality. It's a I would say a psychological profile that makes someone more inclined to be a successful entrepreneur. I don't think that entrepreneurship is something that you can decide to become. We started on our own funds. We spent a lot of time looking for funds, and we managed to actually get funds, even though getting funds in the perfumery business back in 2005 was very difficult because it's a very intangible business. When you go and talk to funds, they like to have comparables. They like to be able to have solid projections. But when you start a perfume business, I mean, most of funds don't really have that confidence and that expertise. We actually tapped funds from an institutional source, and then 2 days before signing the contract, we decided that it's not something that we wanted to do, simply because we were realizing that we were already giving up some of our freedom even before we were launching our business. Yeah, I think the first thing, and I've touched upon it, is understanding who you are as a human being and what is important for you as a driver in your professional and personal life. That will help you know, and it will help you manage your expectations when you're actually making the decision to start your own business. Knowing who you are, what you are looking for, and what is important for you will help you continue to have fun when you're getting into the, I would say, the nitty-gritty of entrepreneurship, because having fun is the key to lasting and becoming successful as well. The second tip I have is to cut bridges. A lot of people that come to me with ideas, they are not very sure about it. They want to keep their current job. They want to go part-time. You know, they want to have some sort of safety net, plan B, and that, in my opinion, is already a sign of non-commitment. You have to cut bridges. There's no going back. You have to be committed, because the drive comes from commitment. The drive comes from knowing that there's no way you can turn back. If not, as soon as you see a spider, you will run back to your mother. So you have to cut bridges. Third tip is listen, but don't get sidetracked. It's important to share your idea with a lot of people. So you should at least know who you're sharing your idea with. Don't ask anyone. Ask people who you think have added value in terms of how they respond to your idea. And the last point, and something that we learned by doing, meaning every time we needed to sign a check, we chickened out. So it's keep control of your company. Keep equity at all costs. In the beginning, you're like, yeah, I'll give you 5% because you have some good ideas. I don't know how to do branding. I'll pay this company. I don't have funds. I'll give this company 5%. And in the beginning, your percentage it's not worth a lot of money. So it's cheap because you have no idea that one day that percent will be valued at huge amounts. And even if you have that ambition, at that particular moment, you're just like, it's just 1%. But when your business grows and 10, 15 years later, you're talking about exits and selling the company or joint ventures or capital increases, that percentage point, that half percentage point becomes immensely critical. When did I start with EPFL? I think it was 1988. Can you imagine? I mean, that was a long time ago. And it was already impressive. When I went to campus recently or last year, it was even more impressive. I mean, it's like tenfold more impressive. But in 1988, I was like, this school is incredible. It's crazy. So, I mean, if I want to do sciences, it's the place where I need to learn science. What EPFL brought to me is the intellectual reflexes. It's an absolutely crazy place to meet people that have the same intellectual ambitions. It was an accelerator for my intellectual capacities. It gives you credibility in what you say and in who you say it to. You can say the same thing if you've done the EPFL or not. People will look at it in a very different way. I mean, the first thing I would say is to have a novel idea, to have an idea that is new, and then it's so strong in your opinion that the vision that it generates is easy to stick with, because that will be challenged throughout the cycle of your adventure. The second key, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, is the human aspect, the team. So the first team is yourself and your co-founder, if you have one, and it's already identifying the way you function. Do you function alone or do you function in a binome? I don't know if that's English. The human factor is extremely important. That's my second point. The third point for me is becoming an expert in your field, doing your homework, knowing what you're doing. Because if you are an expert in your field, then you have the network. And the fourth point, and I have 5 points, is building a business that has a viable business plan. A lot of ideas are great, but when you actually put your pen to paper, you realize that it doesn't make an enormous sense from a I would say purely financial statements point of view. The last point is the type of money that you have to develop your business. A lot of entrepreneurs think that raising a lot of money is key. It could be the case for businesses who, for example, speed to market is a barrier to entry, and that might require money. But a lot of times, entrepreneurs, they confuse raising a lot of money with a success factor. Raising a lot of money means equity, and losing equity means losing control. It means you will not be in a very good shape to tackle issues when you have those issues.
So I think this time is the right time. I will now call the jury on stage to tell us about who has won this competition. So please.
Thank you very much, Leila. So I think it's the moment that most of our audience is waiting for. And of course, I would like to first call off our panel. I mean, if you respect the distance, but frankly, telling you first, thank you very much. And we do have somebody that's been chosen tonight. But before, I would like to call our 4 finalists. So the 4 finalists of tonight, I would like to welcome Ulrike, Luila, Luca, And Samantha, where is Samantha? Here we go. So please come forward. We'll have you in front as the four of you coming here. So Samantha, please come, the four of you. I think we need to respect some distance and, of course, the organization. Before we even give something that we should do right away, and maybe I want to call my colleagues here, maybe start with already to all of you the first part, which is only a first small thank you and small, I would say, congratulations. It starts with this one. And I would like to give a big applause to the four finalists already for this first step. And now comes the moment where tonight we will need to give a big ovation for the person who's made it all the way to the final. The panel's been debating. It's been a long discussion. I finally took the decision. No, that was not the point. I love to do that, but of course, I would like to give the floor to the president of our panel, Leila. Maybe you come forward and you announce who will be receiving our award tonight, that of the big decisions, who was the one that convinced the most the jury tonight. Prize, good.
Thank you very much.
I don't know. So Leila, maybe if you want to add one last final word on behalf of the jury, and then that's Leila, you will receive, of course, we didn't have time to write directly on your name right here, but you will have the opportunity to receive this with the big prize. I would like maybe Leila to compliment the prize that comes with being first tonight.
As EPFL Alumni, we will give you a lot of visibility, so you will be we will do a portrait and of your startup and also help you actually if you need to have introductions. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. And before we give, I think we're reaching the end, but our sponsors as well, we should make sure, and on behalf of the organization and all of those who are following us tonight, we would also like to thank all of those who are supporting us, making this possible. And don't open it here, because I think it will be from the EPFL. Too much. One more, yes, to the president. And of course, but we will soon after this event, we'll be able to actually move it forward. So that's what we have here. I want to thank everyone. One more big applause for all the pitchers, the 20 that pitched tonight, all the startups for really taking this challenge forward. I think it's really something that we know is a challenge. That's why we are all here to support entrepreneurs. We know how hard it is. You do the hard work. Still, we try to push you as much as we can. Thank you very much again to the sponsors, to all of the supporters here. And I would like to, of course, give the final words to Leila, who's been our master of ceremony, the alumni who is driving this event. Leila, one last word in terms of conclusion, and a big applause already for all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So yes, so thank you. This was for us an experience also to be both, here and online. So sorry for if we messed up on a few things, but it's really amazing to see all these talents, and I wish you all actually a lot of success for the future, all of you. So we will now continue, as I said, online. So every startup should go quickly and open their booth. Same for actually some of our partners will also be there. So you will, for those who are online, please, you have to go to the expo area now on Hopin. And then after, you can click on the booth, and the moment there will be somebody behind the desk, you will be able to enter the booth. You can join the live sessions, so there will be 9 people per live session maximum at all times, but you can also be a viewer. But of course, you need to be, to be logged in to be able to participate. And so you can be as a viewer and participate in the chat, or you can participate with voice and video if you're in the room. And once people leave the room, so don't stay too long in the room so that other people can join in. And you can also, there's a button to register interest. In case you are interested actually in learning more, we will share this information to the booth owner, and then they can contact you in the future to learn about what is it that you need. So I think that's it. Well, we'll check. So yes, so just a few sessions. I just wanted to say that for our partners, Swisscom will be online. So there is Stefan and Vanya who are connected from 6:30 until 7:15 on the theme of IoT and SaaS. Dominique Maigret and Peter Ebopson on health tech and ICT. That's for Swisscom. Laurence Turner will be for Kela Healthcare online. EY, Frédéric Tissot, Milia, and Ivan will be there on the chat. And for Logitech, you can see, and Innovo, Jean-Michel Stoffer and Emilia Schenker for SPI, and Eddie will be there as well for you to answer the questions, and all the startups. So thank you, everybody, and yeah, hope to see you soon. Goodbye.